Hello, everyone. Greetings. Good evening.
As you probably see, we have 9 questions for you. We have the ability, or what is going to happen is that you have 3 minutes per question with a follow-up or a final statement, and we've tweaked our approach in that any board member may ask a follow-up question to any of your statements. Mr. Van Geffen, question number 1.
Thank you, President Miriam, Vice President Vargas, Clerk Inch, County Representative Langer, and everyone else here. Notice these interviews get later every couple months. Thank you for being here this evening. I will jump right in. Question 1, briefly describe your commitment to public education.
Excuse me, Mr. Geffen?
Yes.
We will ask the questions. All right.
Right
Starting off with question 1. Briefly describe your commitment to public education and our local school district.
Absolutely. I have been living in Emeryville for a little over 2 years now. I live on Beaudry, just a couple blocks from here. I am a father of a 18-month-old little girl who will be a student here eventually. So my commitment's pretty close to home because any positive effect I can have is a direct effect on my family. I personally went to a K through 12 myself growing up, and I cherished the experience. At the time, I'm pretty sure I hated walking to school and back from school every single day for 12 years, but in retrospect, that was some of the most vivid memories I have of my childhood. And so having a local school that is walkable, it being a small town that it is something that is near and dear to me. And I see the Emery Unified School District and ECCL not just as a school and a district, but kind of an effort to build a strong community and support its youth. I mean, it being as small of a district as it is, I mean, I love the idea of having a hyper-local government kind of where the members can oversee our students very quickly, whereas if we were a member of one of the other districts, there'd be multiple schools and people that have maybe never even been to Emeryville in charge. So I love the idea of a local group like this. So to me, the ECCL K through 12 experience is wonderful because it's a hub for the community to become involved with one another outside of politics and business. It's an actual area for families to come together with the students and the public. I mean, that's why we have so many amenities here. So yes, my commitment is strong to keeping this a K through 12 for the community.
Question number 2, please share any background information that you feel prepares you for a position as a school board member, education, work experience, etc.
Absolutely. Education background, I went to Penn State for undergrad. I had advertising and dual major with a minor in business. Law school, I went to Santa Clara down in the peninsula. For work, I am a litigator, business transaction specialist, and regulatory compliance attorney. In terms of teaching experience, I was the on-site coordinator for a high school immersion program that was a partnership between Kaplan and Penn State, where I hired, trained, and oversaw 31 teachers who then taught 347 students for 3 weeks, which was a little more like running a camp than a school, but I learned quite a bit about the difficulties of keeping that many young minds concentrated in one thing for a long period of time. I've been a teacher for over 10 years for various LSAT prep classes for both PowerScore and Kaplan. I give seminars to industry professionals, which isn't teaching, but it's presenting. And I'm pretty familiar, or I at least try to stay familiar with local politics. So in terms of my background, it's varied. I don't have any specialized degrees in education, but I would bring to the table various viewpoints that I think would be helpful. So that is my background.
Describe your commitment to ensuring the board functions well and share any prior experience on working on boards or teams.
Absolutely. My commitment, I will say, is 100%. As I mentioned before, everything that this board does that then trickles down through the superintendent and onto the students will eventually have a direct impact on my family. So my commitment is to my community and to my own family. If I was a member, then failure is not an option, because again, it's my city, it's my town, it's my family. I want to be involved. I want to make sure that various opinions and views are heard. And I want to see Emeryville's school system continue to rise in people's expectations. And I think it's also important that the K through 12 total immersion experience that we have at ECCL continue to grow, have additional options. Because I like the idea of my daughter going to somewhere where she feels like she's a part of something that's bigger than just herself. And when you come here and you're introduced to and meeting with fellow students and their parents and other people in the community, I think that's a great recipe to help people grow and become better adults. In terms of experience with boards, I've been on the Oakland Aviation Museum Board of Trustees since 2011. I've been the Regional Western Pacific Vice President of the International Air and Transportation Safety Board Bar Association since 2010. I have been the editor-in-chief of a couple different legal trade magazines, not magazines, newsletters, I apologize. So I have experience doing the day-to-day board work and the monthly meetings. So yes, I'm well versed in that.
How does the board's role differ from that of the superintendent?
My understanding is that the board's job is to set expectations and for the superintendent to implement them. Question of policy versus the practice of implementation. The board provides organizational structure and accountability, and the superintendent takes care of day-to-day leadership role. The board sets budgets and gives directives for negotiation, and the superintendent oversees the actual negotiations, I believe. So the board's job is to listen to the community, see what input they have, what changes they want to have seen done in the district, and then putting together policy and asking the superintendent to implement the public's wants.
With the district's 4 goals in mind, what do you see as the strengths of the Emery Unified School District?
There are many. I think in terms of the first goal for economic, political, and social empowerment, you've got your location in a very historical area of civic engagement. You've got a facility with ties to the community beyond just the school. Earth Day, adult enrichment, health and wellness, gym, voting. I mean, you've got a place where students come and see more than just their day-to-day is taking place, and it opens up their eyes, I think, a bit. I watched the December board meeting on YouTube, and I saw Principal Good's presentation, and I loved what she was saying about the enhancements to the WASP, you know, trying to get those higher scores up, because unfortunately for a lot of people, all they care about is grade scores. But I loved hearing about all the different sports programs that are being added in, the additional calls to parents, the implementing home visits, because I think those things all make a student feel important, make them feel noticed, and not just a number, which again goes back to self-empowerment. The other positives that we have here is, I mean, we're a new sanctuary city, and so teaching the students what that means, because they're going to be seeing a lot about that in the news and everything. So it's an opportunity to teach kids and actually, again, show them about what it means to be a part of this community and what it is we believe in. Looking at the second goal about college, career ready, making sure that the students know that high school isn't the end, that they have options. I think our location in a tech hub, our proximity to great colleges and vocational schools is a huge benefit because it shows kids that they have options right in their backyard. And opportunities for internships. Again, at the December meeting, I heard about the Plum Organics opportunities. I think that's amazing. Looking at the third, the innovating technology for global awareness. I love that the students have the option to take coding classes. I can see that there'd be a benefit there to use that to our own benefit and telling kids, hey, it's time to start putting up mock websites of why I love ECCL and kind of using that to promote ourselves. Looking at the multi-use city school campus, bringing our community together, the fourth goal, beautiful facility, continued community improvements. I know that there's a lot of additional things that need to be done, but I think the campus...
I'm sorry, you just ran out of time on that one.
That's fine.
Which one of those 4 goals do you think needs most improvement?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Which one of those 4 goals do you think needs the most improvement?
I think Goal 2 and Goal 3 do have some overlap in terms of just repeating the critical thinking aspect, so separating those out. I think it's difficult to say one is more important because different parents have different goals for their kids and different kids have different goals from their parents. So I think stressing all 4 and seeing which area a kid can excel at and fostering them to do that. Some kids aren't going to want to go to college, and so it's our job to help them find an avenue here. Some kids will want to go to college, and so they're only going to be wanting to look at what will help them meet application dates, work on finding potential scholarships. I mean, we don't want to look at one and ignore the rest. So I don't know that we should pick one over all 4.
All right. Question 7, of the district's 4 goals, are there any that you do not support? Do you have any additional goals that you think should be considered?
There are none that I don't support. I know previously there was an issue of a drop-off of students, but that has been turning around. And in terms of the social empowerment goal, I think having a larger student body, more diverse body, is a good thing. So the more students we bring in, the more we can pull from all the different viewpoints. The second, about being college and career ready, I do think we can strive to support kids more in terms of getting them prepared, letting them know when application due dates come, when early application due dates come, because I know for a lot, they find out about early applications after they're already due, and then giving direction on how to look for scholarship money. I think that's just something that can be stressed more. In terms of the third goal, revolving around technology, I mentioned this the last round, that personally I love the idea of going back a little bit and teaching kids some more trade skills, cooking, farming, woodwork, baking, all these things. I just personally, I think it makes a well-rounded adult, but using that as a tool and going back and say, here's how technology has changed these occupations and these vocations over the years. So both teaching them how to do things themselves, but then saying, and here are jobs that you can go back and improve this. You know, you love doing this thing, here's where we are now technology-wise. And so I'd kind of like to go back to the roots in that way and build back up from there. The fourth goal, the multi-use city school, I think it's strong. I think we keep adding on new programs, new activities, so we're building. I don't think that there really is a weakness right now in that area.
Question number 8. Are you aware that the district is striving to be a full-service community school? What does that mean to you?
To me, simply it means filling the needs of the students, their family, and the community. It's sort of a two-pronged approach. First, you want to bring the community into the school and show them the benefits and positive results of encouraging participation, driving support of the school through the community. And then 2, using that support to then build up the students to help them reach their best potential. And we can accomplish both of those by being a full-service school, offering pre- and post-school access, the Health and Wellness Center, recreation and athletics programs, all these things that brings the community in for more than just showing up to class. I think you bring the community in, that helps support the kids, and it's a circle.
What is your commitment to EUSD continuing in its current form? Why or why not is this important?
I have heard that there are those that are either considering or are open to considering dissolving and joining another district. I am 100% staunchly against that. I love the idea of having a local, hyper-local government that is representative of the students, the community. I don't like the idea of someone that is 40 miles down the road that may have never been to Emeryville having a say in what we do. I love how close-knit this community is, so no, I wouldn't want to change the way we're set up. And I remember reading or hearing at the December meeting that the budget's in the black now. Student enrollment is going up. These are all signs of success and not signs of weakness. So I think now's the time to double down and recommit to this district. So no, I don't want it to change.
Right. Do you have a final statement or any questions?
Sure. I remember listening to Fiscal Director Sue mentioning that the reserves were currently at their required minimum, and I think that's not necessarily the best. I'd like to see more money put into reserves because, I mean, imagine going to your mechanic and them saying, don't worry, you've got the bare minimum brakes left in your car. You're good. I don't like the idea of that. But overall, I think you've got 3 great candidates. You can't make a wrong decision. I don't love the idea of having a couple, a husband and wife, one on the city council and one on the school board, as much as I also wouldn't think 2 family members should be on the same board because it creates an issue of potential groupthink. And I think it's more important that every issue be debated in public versus, people that could easily just agree with because they spend all their time with somebody. So I think that's an issue. It should be debated. It shouldn't be definitive, but it's something that should be out in the open. Otherwise, no, I just thank you guys for allowing me to come out and interview today for this.
Okay. Any questions by any of the board members?
Thank you for applying. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Geffen.
Good night.